Hello and welcome to another episode of Woodward's Watercolors. Now I've made myself a beautiful cup of chai tea, which you can see has got the tea bag in. For some of you that is completely offensive, but I love it. Anyway, out of a conversation today with my daughter, I think I struck a little bit of gold. So I try to post on social media every day. The reason why I do that is such a helpful process that keeps me being creative and keeps me thinking about paintings that I'm going to post and keeps all that kind of stuff. It's really good. Anyway, I posted today a painting that I did back in 2021. It is, in my opinion, one of the best paintings in watercolor ink that I've ever done. It just inspires me to want to paint like that again. And I said to my daughter, you know, painting is like continually throwing a dart at the dartboard, and inevitably just sometimes you hit a bullseye. And not that it's right or wrong or bad, but there's just ones that really stand out. And I thought that's a great painting. Anyway, it's really inspired me, which is why I'm doing this video, to try and paint with the looseness and freshness that I had then. As to whether I will be successful or not through this video, I don't actually think is the point. I'm just going to keep throwing darts at the dartboard, and you never know. So come on. Let's give this a go. We're going to look at a scene from Gleno, which is this gorgeous little village in North Antrim. And we're going to just tackle it together. So come on, let's make a start. Okay, so just using the simple Unipins, the set, I've got a 0.05 and I've got a 0.8. And that's all that we're going to look at. And we're starting with the 0.5. I am just going to go straight in here because with this one, I really... just after seeing that today, I thought I just want to get into drawing something that I'm not overly going to be that concerned about, which is just such a liberating thing. And I tend to find that whenever you draw like that, something different kind of happens, you know, and it's just a really lovely experience. So here's what we're doing. So we're just getting the rooftops here. It is a beautiful place, Gleno, and these little houses are just so, they're just so kind of quaint the way they seem to sit and on this really steep hill, and there is an absolutely beautiful waterfall that is about there as well. Now the other thing that I'm going to say about this is that I really am not going to do loads and loads of either painting or drawing in this, and that's going to be one of the most liberating things hopefully in it as well. So here we go. As he says, here we go, and he's halfway through the thing. There is definitely something that happens, you know, when you're just enjoying yourself that little bit and a little bit more carefree. As he says, videoing himself. I must be either courageous or completely stupid, but one of the two. You know, and there's things that, you know, you notice the more that you do it, like positioning of things, and does that really matter in this? No, not overly. We're just trying to get a general kind of sense of the place. And so we need to move this wee bit in here. There's certain things, does placing matter? Yes, I guess so sometimes, but actually sometimes it's just about doing the thing. I really like that analogy of the throwing the dart at the dartboard. I think it's actually pretty cool because, isn't that right? You know, just sometimes and often when you least expect it, things work, and tends to find you, like Picasso said, inspiration finds you working. Draw this big line here across there, and even with this as well, because this is not a commission, doesn't have to be exceptionally accurate, we're just enjoying the process. There was something about that. I really want to encourage you, if you are, you know, if you've been doing this for a while, you probably, if you're still doing it, you find at some point that there was something that you did that you actually liked, and you didn't think it was that bad, and therefore you went and did it a few times more. But there will be that one that kind of got you into it, you know, and I want to encourage you, go back and look at it. Get inspired by your own stuff. Get inspired by what got you doing it for the second, third, fifth, 100th, 1,000th time, you know. Just go and relook at it again. I think that's a powerful thing, that sketchbooks and old works of art become things that actually call you back to moments where you were at your most happiest and seemed at your most just yourself in art. And I think that's just a really powerful place to be, you know. So let's just getting the basic structures in. I'm not even worrying about loads of the details in the windows that are further on down there. I'm using, really, if you notice in some of what I'm doing here, I'm using a mixture of continuous line and also lifting the pen off the page. I love drawing in pen. I know that some people are terrified of it because they think, what if I make a mistake? And I'm thinking, you know, pretty much nearly counting on it, because what I think is a mistake is often not at all. So we're just going with the whole process. Okay. And the thing is, do I want the rest of the road in? I don't know. Do I? Does he? Do you want that plant pot in there? Yeah, sure, why not? Put that other wee plant pot that I'd forgotten in there. And maybe bring this little bit up there. Okay, so this is the bit that I love. Now, I had kind of lost where my my 8 was, and this is also, if you're wanting to correct things, you can. I don't know overly that I do. I mean, look at that one there. That line went a bit askew there. But am I concerned? No, he is not. And I guarantee that probably what I'll end up with out of this is something that's lovely and really quite loose and really what I was looking for. And I am keeping going to the point that I'm not even really sure what my hand's doing. I'm just going along with the process of this thing. Just trying to make some decisions where I see certain lines, and again, not overthinking this. And I'm going to go with that line and that one there, and we'll keep that one, just let this that a little bit lighter. Okay, it's very, very liberating, isn't it? Just to give something a go. And sometimes it's actually, I remember I was in this house and it was in Donegal, and it was in Downing's area, I think. And I remember there was this really wonderfully loose and really pretty messy painting that just caught my eye so much. And I thought, yeah, that's it right there. It's calling me into something. Need to get some of those wee spokes in. Get that line in there. Now, the thing about these windows here is probably those marks there. Now, the thing that I also love about the Unipin is that they dry so quickly and they're so ready to be waterproof against water, which is just almost, I think, actually instantaneous. I don't know if I have ever found them to be otherwise. Okay, so I want to keep this same approach, and because of that, actually, I'm going to use a big fat chunky brush. This is my Daler-Rowney Round Wash, the 30. Let's move my water across and let's just dive into this. So big thick brush, not really thinking too much, probably not mixing too much either. Just going straight in with the cerulean blue. Move that pen over. And again, accuracy is not the name of the game for me in this. I just really want to find something that's got a bit of life to it. Throw some splats in there. Do you know what I might do actually? Is just drop in a bit more colour there. And I also want to go straight into the Payne's Grey for the road. I will add in just a little bit of that colour there. Not sure what that colour there actually is. It is Indian Red. So I'm just going to dry brush that right up there. Move it across there. And I am going to look and see, okay, where else is this? So just going to let that bleed. Not going to be concerned about what's going on there. I will actually mix probably these two together just to see if I can get that bit of a shadowy colour. And then use that across on those lines there. And I might actually also sweep it down there and sweep it across here. It's that little bit, okay. And I am actually counting on a little bit of bleed. If Toby was here, he would be so emotional that I'm actually counting on a little bit of bleed. But I've got this Viridian here. Don't know why I'm saying but. I've got the Viridian. Is it Viridian? Is he's actually telling? It's phthalo green actually. Let me hold on and get this the right way around. It is actually cobalt turquoise. I need a sip of my beautiful chai tea. I'm going to take a little bit of that colour, which brought it down beautifully to a more, it's actually burnt sienna, brought it down much more to the type of green that I would want. And just going to let this, also let that bleed a little bit there as well, because I'm not, again, as I've said, this is not about being beautifully accurate. This is about trying to capture something nice and quickly. And then what I will do as well is bring in just a little bit of a darker tone into some of these areas here, like up in the chimney. So when you work quickly, you get a quality that you do not get when you work slowly. Because when we work quickly, I think we get something else nearly. That's far too dark, but we will darken that down with, it's not like me to go so crazy into it there, but hey ho, let's get that. And I love that colour. It's just such an interesting colour. We're just going to dull that down a little bit more, and an Indian red to that, and a little bit of a darker tone. Okay, so just wanting to bring the darker point of the chimney pots to there, and also just a couple of areas where it's that little bit darker there. And you'll notice that this point, this is where it will change slightly as well from what it was to what it can now be, you know. I'm going to add in just a little bit of this sap green there. Just going to add it into that brown actually. And as I've said many times before, I tend to mix from the colours that I have to find the new ones. Okay, so I'm taking the Payne's Grey and adding in a number to take it down to an ivory black, and just going to we're just going to add little dots of it across in the darker sections there. So we've used really quite realistic colours, but kept with something that is much more sort of loosey-goosey and light-hearted, you know. Not my usual. And just want to just bring in just ever so slight suggestions of the quality of the brickwork, and also what I can do with that then is also lift certain little bits as well, so that just draw that line across there. Okay, excellent. And I can just lift little bits of this as well. So I've dried off the brush there. I was doing the dab and grab without informing you. I was doing the dab and grab just to lift it ever so slightly. And that's all I want to do. And it is free, and it is fast, and it is bleeding a bit, and it is just so enjoyable. Well, what did you think? I try to go with the inspiration and the desires that comes, and also to just paint regardless. Whether I'm feeling like it or not, I'm just going to keep throwing those darts at the dartboard. But at the times where I'm like, I really want to have a go with this, I have a go. So you can tell me what you think of my approach in regard to that. And the free image, the free paint, the movement of paint, all of those things, it's just an enjoyable process. And who knows where it goes. I really hope that this video inspires you to go back and have a look at paintings that you really love. Recognize that you really love them, and just think about, well, what does it invite me and call me to do? And pick up your pens and your paint, and off you go. Thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon and you'll be notified of when new videos drop. For more information about me, head to woodwardswatercolours.co.uk. And that's it from me for now, and I'll see you in the next video of Woodward's Watercolours sometime soon. I'm away to finish my chai tea. Bye everyone.